Today, hello, this is ChillPoint.
That feeling when the music is a little slower than you think. You know?
Hey, you gotta swing for the fences.
It's nice though. I like our theme music.
I do too.
Yeah.
How's it going, everybody? By which I mean Beej and Heather, and also chat.
Oh, okay.
And also chat, yes.
Yeah, also chat. I like to start all the streams asking how chat is.
Yeah.
I drank all my tea before the stream even started.
I've had my tea for an hour longer than you, and you somehow have...
If there is something to drink in front of me, I will drink it until I get to a point where I don't feel well, and thus that's what stops me from drinking stuff. Eating is not the problem. Eating is something I can kind of slow myself down with. But drinking has continually been a problem. I used to sit at my desk at work with a Bubba keg with a handle on it, and I'd fill it with water, and then I would drink that thing, and then I would go to the washroom, and then I'd fill it up again, and I'd come back and I'd drink that thing. I'd maybe do like a couple Bubba kegs throughout the whole day.
Overhydrate, right?
Way too much water.
If you know that you have that problem, why would you get the Bubba cake? Like, why don't you get like a small glass, and then that way you will drink it and then stop?
Oh no,
it's a problem that I only discovered I think through the pandemic, because I've noticed that 500 ml is how big the stein is, right? So if I have 500 mils sitting next to me of tea in it, of decaffeinated Earl Grey mixed with like stevia and milk, that's a very easy drink. It tastes really good. It doesn't have a lot of calories in it, and it just kind of sits next to me. But like the other night, I picked it up because I got it and I set it down, and then I picked it up and started drinking out of it, and then I was thirsty like 10 minutes later, and I reached over to grab it, and I'm like, I'm thirsty now, and I pick it up, and I'm like, I just made this like 10, 15 minutes ago, but it's gone. I drank all of that.
You're so close to slipping into like a walk-in voice there, but you're not quite letting yourself do it.
It's not even letting myself.
It's probably for the best that you don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Because if that Heineken Stein was actually
Steineken
was actually filled with Heineken, then that could actually be a serious problem.
I'd be 6 sheets to the wind. It's alcohol does have the tendency to dry you out, right? Like it dehydrates you and just makes you thirstier. So I also thought that maybe this was making me stupid, because I assumed that like I got this as this and my other ones from my grandparents like years and years ago. These are like the shelf mugs that you put on a shelf kind of deal, and I have this one, a Tuborg one, and like another one, Lowenbrow, I think, and they're like made in Korea, and they're stone, and I'm just like, is the glaze coming off these? And these are like probably fucking like done in the 80s, and so maybe it's got like lead in them, and maybe that's what's making me stupid. And then I realized what's making me stupid is getting older.
Please stop telling the chat things that's going to get me tweets asking me that they're concerned about you.
Yes.
I'm tired of it.
Don't worry.
Stop being concerned about Beej at me. Go be concerned at Beej about Beej.
I'm just clueless as a joke.
Paul, why are we here?
We're here because we're talking about video game news. Because this is ChillPoint, the show where we talk about this week's CheckPoint, which went up yesterday afternoon. And we also talk about other news that we didn't talk about on CheckPoint, other silly things that are going on in the video game world. We also celebrate the new Lurbot command that
was not my idea, but apparently I was the inspiration.
Our Lopez added R10 Lopez 10.
The best commands get added because you do a thing and you didn't tell anyone to do.
You think you're safe down there in Australia where you're from, Mr. Ropes, but let me tell you, when they open up the travel restrictions again and we all fly down there, I'll have words with you about the fart command if I can remember that long.
Well,
I'll have congratulations for you if that's Vinny.
I mean, why don't we just go into that story? So, Beej, I'm going to ask you. Did you use some sort of like online database of a fart thesaurus?
Not only did I. Is there a second part of that question, Paul?
Well, it's just like did these all come from your own mind, or were they like was there like a list that you were going from?
I found almost all of these on which the ones that are terrible are the ones that I found on the Huffington Post. And I'm like, that's perfect. That's what the Huffington Post is great at, is giving me a listicle of 150 different goddamn fart euphemisms.
The fart Huffington Post.
It's so weird because it's like the Bronx Cheer as like that's a classic. That's a 1910s like turn of phrase. And then like the old raspberry, because that was the thing, is the whoopee cushion they always advertised as like emit a loud Bronx cheer, like that kind of thing, right?
I have not heard the term Bronx cheer.
It's because everybody in the Bronx is really aggro and they're vicious, and it's like whenever they're cheering for you, they're not cheering for you. They're doing this because they hate you, and so that's the cheer you get in the Bronx. That's where that comes from. The old raspberry is like, that's one. But then I was like, I'm out of stuff. What should I do? And it's like, oh, the mouse on a motorcycle. I'm like, nope, never heard that before. Get out and walk Donald. I was like, wow, that's some 23 Skidoo bullshit. I love that. Blame it on your elderly dog was mine. Picking up a drifter on the side of the Reptile Road was a hybrid. Marking your ass territory was something I threw in because everyone likes it when we do that. But yeah, I was like, also, I wrote all of that. I want to be clear. People are like, in the comments, like Graham saying, you need to pad out the story. It's like, no. Graham doesn't get involved when I go off on a fucking road this.
My favorite comment on CheckPoint in regards to this story was the one that accused us that we had nothing important to talk about other than fart jokes, as if they had somehow bypassed the first story
and all the others
and not seen the rest.
It's like, really? It's just like nothing but fart jokes this week? Yes.
It's like in this time of such important video game news, why are you wasting time on these fart jokes?
I mean, when I made the tweet for the video going live, I was just like, I'm not going to put effort into this tweet. I know what people want. I'm just going to make a big fart noise and put the link. It's fine. I was
super excited that somebody wrote in the comments, I am from Pueblo, Colorado 81002, and I'm like, yes! I think the original is Pueblo, Colorado 81009 to get your free government pamphlets. But that's like a U.S. thing that I never saw in Canada ever. I just saw it when I was in the U.S. one time.
Oh, is that what? Okay, I was really confused by one of those comments that said free government pamphlets. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
It's like I was so excited that when I realized that Monoprice, very nice mail order company, actually ships from Timbuktu.
No, Rancho Cucamonga.
Is it Rancho Cucamonga? I thought it was...
They ship from Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, that's it, right.
Yeah, because it's like, another one of those.
It's like, wait, that's a real...
Albuquerque.
That's a real place?
Yeah.
I do love that you focused in on the whoopee cushion, even though there was so much more Animal Crossing stuff to talk about.
Right, okay, so just to quickly summarize this story. So there's a whoopee cushion that's being added as a thing, which I think the sort of interesting takeaway on this is this idea of like, the April Fool's thing. Because this is kind of I don't know if many games or things have done what Nintendo is doing here, which is kind of interesting, which is it's not Nintendo playing an April Fool's on their users. No. Being like, we're gonna make whatever. We're gonna make Samus into an Animal Crossing character or something. Yeah.
Brewster's coming to Animal Crossing. No, he isn't.
They're making it so that you can play, very very good-natured April Fool's jokes on your friends or whatever. in Animal Crossing, which is a neat. Like I like that idea. Like it's
Yeah.
they're not actually doing the April Foolsing themselves. They're adding the sort of April Fool's thing into the game such that you can use it.
It's
I mean,
very weird too.
I kind of was hoping they would add in the April Fool's Day event that was in New Leaf.
Oh,
Well,
happens
there was a separate event. There was an actual event.
Yeah, so on April Fool's Day in New Leaf, a special character comes to town. I think their name is Blanca. And they're a white cat with no face.
Yeah, Blanca's in.
And they walk around and they talk to your villagers and they make themselves look like the villager. And then when you see them, you have to determine which one's the real villager and which one is not. And if you pick the wrong one, villager gets
Kill them
angry
both!
at you.
Wait.
If you pick the right one,
Yes.
the villager's very happy and gives you their picture.
Yeah.
And collecting
Oh,
villager pictures is a thing amongst people who play Animal Crossing if they're trying to get like all the furniture items. So it's kind of one of those events that lets you get photographs of the villagers in a fairly easy way. But yeah, also cat with no face.
Yeah.
Is there a special way to tell them apart?
If you've been talking to your villagers, generally you can tell if the lines of what they're saying is correct.
Oh,
it's one
nice.
of those,
You have to talk to them.
I'm asking you a personal question, Paul. Like only
Right.
you would know the answer to that.
Yes.
What do you mean you think you don't have a brother? Well, then, that kind of thing.
Right. In Animal Crossing, though, I guess in Animal Crossing, though, would be like, what's something only you would know? Do you want a chair from me?
Yes. What are the last six things I gave you?
No, I don't want a chair from you. Ha ha!
A terrible lie. Yeah, so
I was hoping it would be like changes to the Animal Crossing character, but with like ditto eyes.
oh, that'd be good.
Oh, yeah, that'd
like
be funny.
that. Yeah, so that's April Fool's Day, or in time for April Fool's Day, you'll be getting a whoopee cushion, or you'll be able to buy a whoopee cushion or whatever. I think you're just getting it in the mail, probably. It sounds like, but and it just looks like a cushion, like a round cushion that looks a little inflated on the sides with like a pattern on top, which I've never seen a whoopee cushion look like ever in my life. And it's like, but you don't get to hide it under anything. I don't. You can't but like get
No,
a
it's just
Zabuton.
gonna be a cushion.
It's just a thing that's there, and then it's like, but you know it is the whoopee cushion because I think they're all the same. They probably don't come in different colors. That'd be cool if they did.
Probably if you like
disguise.
go over to it, it'll say like whoopee cushion, like it'll identify it, right? Like
Well, if you pick it up off the ground, then you'll know what it is. But it's so yeah. Animal Crossing has that for April Fool's Day. Other things that are big. They just did their big update, their 1.9.0 update, their anniversary update. But did a whole bunch of custom design improvements and other stuff. And what was another thing they did?
I mean, Graham talked about in the after show part. Graham was talking about the whole Animal Crossing
Fastest selling game
in Europe.
Nintendo game.
Fastest selling Nintendo game in Europe ever, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's the second best Switch selling game is actually pretty huge because the Switch has been out for like 4 years completely now. That game's only been out for a year, and the game above it, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, has been out I think since the beginning.
Yeah, that always slightly confused. I guess it's because it's bundled with so many things. Because it's like Mario Kart 8 is good, but it's like
It is bundled with like a lot of.
It's like the
stuff,
eighth iteration of a franchise. It's like, why is that the most popular game? But it's like,
and when
it's bundled with all this stuff, right?
When you have a machine that, especially over the past year, has been constantly out of stock and hard to get, then people are definitely going to buy like a bundle version as well, whether they want that game or not.
One new thing they did add to the store that, at least in the last couple of days on the store, the internal store in Animal Crossing, is you can buy a Nintendo Switch Lite.
Oh, they added a light.
Oh yeah.
Does it come in with different colors?
I've got one in coral and one in yellow.
It comes in the four colors.
Yeah.
Which is always like, it's like you can, your person in Animal Crossing can have, a more extensive
do you
Nintendo
walk around
collection.
with it?
I don't think you can hold it. I was able to place item and I can put it in storage.
Lay
but
on table.
Yeah, or lay on ground
Is
or
it-
whatever. And
is-
if you activate it, it turns on the screen like the Switch logo, and then it turns off.
Oh, okay.
Is it cheaper than
Yes,
buying the regular Switch in the store?
it is. It's 19,960 bells. The other Switches are like 33,000 bells, something like
Yeah,
that.
they're close to.
Basically, if you think of them in terms of yen, they're more closer to what the actual retail price without going over.
It would be. I
Yeah.
mean, it
You
would
can get ring fits. I know that.
Yeah.
it would be awesome if it was just like if like those things like the Ring Fit and the like the Switch and stuff like backdoored into like the like
Actual games.
or just into like the launcher, like you activate the Ring Fit and it's like it'll just take you to the Ring Fit
So,
game.
Yeah.
in the original Animal Crossing,
Oh yeah.
you can play a bunch of NES games through emulation, and that's a thing people have been wanting back forever. In New Horizons, and the update they did, I think it was called Welcome Amiibo, which was a free update, which was when they added like a campsite and stuff. The you could get a Wii U and a DS Lite, and when you activated those, you could play. I think the Wii U let you play the
Island Rescue game.
Island Rescue game that comes from Amiibo Festival, and the DS Lite let you play an Animal Crossing puzzle game.
Like Troze. Like it's
Yeah.
like Pokemon Troze,
Nice.
but it's like the Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
whatever.
And so that's a feature people have been really wanting in New Horizons for a while.
Yeah, and the GameCube one
Like-
was I think had to get an NES, and then you had to somehow through process of playing the game, through the process of playing Animal Crossing for the GameCube, you would eventually be able to get the Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers, like some of the original
Yeah, some of the
1987
really-
games.
It's like even if Nintendo doesn't want to like give away their virtual console games, like
Yeah.
we know from various other things Nintendo's that like Nintendo's got so many just like little mini game things, right? That they could so easily just like repurpose into a fun little thing
Yeah,
into Animal Crossing.
like just put some Game & Watches in New Horizon, and then
Or
let
just
people,
like
play with their
pull
Game & Watch.
some stuff out of like WarioWare or something.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think
a
it'd be
great
really
idea.
funny if they took all the mini games from Amiibo Festival and put them
Yeah.
in.
I would
Because
I would
a lot
love
of those
that.
were pretty okay outside
Yeah.
of the board game.
Amiibo Festival is a very underrated game, I think, and I understand why. But also, like I brought it to one of our friend retreats that we did,
Yeah,
and
and we just hung out and played
people
it
came
while we all
downstairs,
just
and I
chatted very chill.
because
It was
everyone
so good.
you get it, everyone takes an amiibo, and then that's how you activate your character. And so everyone holds an
Yeah.
amiibo, and then you just pass the gamepad around from person to person. And we just chilled downstairs and played this game, and I fucking schooled everybody at this game. Paul, you have no idea. In
Yeah,
fact,
Beach was
my
very
Twitter
proud of it.
avatar is Tom Nook dressed up like he's from fucking Hamilton because he's the boss, and I have like a picture on my phone of when I earned like 540 points in that game from selling turnips, and I just went like buck wild. It was amazing. So I like
So-
Amiibo Festival.
Yeah, so the game has very fond memories for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not anybody
It came
else,
out
just
at a
me.
bad time when people really wanted a new Animal Crossing, and they
Mhm.
hadn't had one in like I think 4 years, and they'd been getting the house customizing game and other stuff, and not the one that they wanted. But it also people were looking at it as like, oh, that should be Mario Party, and it wasn't. It's a very much more chill game, and you need amiibos to play it. So a
Again,
lot
they
of people
could
were very angry about it.
they've got a billion Mario Party little mini games that they could load into things.
Yeah. Right. I mean, well, speaking of games bundled into other
When
games,
we
what?
streamed that Amiibo Festival game, people came into the chat to just tell us how angry they were
Yeah.
at us streaming the game and it existing. And we were just having fun.
And it's like, no, we're having a good time here. This is actually a lot of fun. It's like, I'm mad because I don't have the game I want. And it's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
know,
It was
but
really
this is
weird.
a fun game.
It was probably
So
one of the weirdest things we've ever streamed because of that.
do you drop into like people playing Quake 3 Arena because you're mad that Doom 3 was no good? Like, what the shit? Like, I don't understand. Speaking of games being bundled into other games, Final Fantasy VII is enacting some sort of unusual collection. They're calling it, what was it? Ever Crisis?
Yeah, I mean it's not a collection in the sense of like
No, they're not all discrete games. They're just
they're not-
smushing them together.
they're combining the stories of all those games. Like it's not like
Yeah.
you get to play all those
No.
games.
No.
But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that was announced in terms of Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, because there was like Before Crisis was one of the Final Fantasy things, Crisis Core,
Dirge of Crises.
Dirge of Cerberus was
Yeah.
the first person shooter Final Fantasy.
And they want to work in.
They like the word crisis for Final Fantasy, don't they?
Yeah,
Must have been a big deal for some reason. I don't.
I feel you know when you're going into a game called like Final
Infinite Crisis.
Infinite Crisis. There isn't like going to be a non-serious event happening. Like
I think Final Fantasy Infinite Crisis is two things working at cross purposes to each other.
I think they're made for each other.
Yeah,
and Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier is a game. It's a battle royale. Takes place 30 years before Final Fantasy VII, the game proper. And of course, the only way you're going to have all this amazing, over the top, just balls to the wall graphical fidelity. And the only console you could possibly play a game like this on, the amount of work and the amount of effort they're putting into making this happen, the only consoles to be able to play any of these new Final Fantasy games on is iOS and Android.
You know, I'm glad. I am very glad because I want to see all the hardcore fanboys who keep saying that mobile gaming is not real gaming have to settle down and play a mobile game.
They are screaming so much about this.
I'm not sure if First Soldier is. I think First Soldier is console, like regular consoles.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
the Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, Ever Crisis.
Ever Crisis, sorry, whatever.
Every crisis.
Final
crisis.
Fantasy Ever Crisis.
But it kills me too.
Ever Crisis, never learning.
The fact that it's like Square is saying we're doing this, and the reason we're doing this is as if it wasn't clear from how Graham was writing this in the story, right? I need to find their name again. Come on, Tetsuya Nomura did an interview with Famitsu, right, and saying that Final Fantasy VII fan base is fixed. Well, it's probably broken in its own ways, but it's basically locked in, that there's a Final Fantasy VII fan base,
right?
And they want nothing more than to just have them re-release all of Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1 so they can go about being 17 years old again and imagining they know what sex is going to turn out to be like. And frankly, like it's like we want to attract new fans to the brand. I'm just going for clicks here at this point.
Sure.
They want to attract new fans to the brand. And I'm like, well, where are all the new fans gaming these days? It's not on the PS4 and the PS5, really. Those people already know about Final Fantasy VII, right? They already have experienced or want to experience Final Fantasy VII. They're like, we need to put this in a place where no one is expecting Final Fantasy VII to show up. Let's put it on iOS and Android because that's where predominantly younger populations are playing games. It makes sense from a business perspective.
Chad informs me that First Soldier is indeed mobile only as well. Which, I mean, a few years ago, that would have been such a very strange thing. But of course, you know, Fortnite is very popular on mobile when it is allowed.
I want. I mean, it's definitely allowed if they follow the rules.
That's what I'd say. When it is allowed, when they aren't being kicked out of the various app stores,
yes,
they are very popular on mobile.
I mean, I assume that if you want this to ever come to console, you're going to probably need Final Fantasy VII to turn into Kingdom Hearts, because I'm determined to understand that Kingdom Hearts has to re-release its collection every time they do a new number update so that people can play all of the other games because they're all interconnected. And Kingdom Hearts has a mobile-only game, and therefore, in a collection that they do sometime in the future, they'll have to include the mobile game or at least a movie explaining that story that you missed otherwise.
The trick with Kingdom Hearts that just sort of adds to the overall je ne sais quoi of the Kingdom Hearts franchise is that they do these re-releases sort of in of the old games, remasters and remakes and things.
Yeah.
But they almost never do all of them.
No.
Like every re-release like pack that's come out is like some of them. They'll be like 1, 2, and 3, but not 4, or like 1, 2, and then the mobile one, and then
Yeah.
or and then like the DS one, and like to get the entire franchise is you have to buy like 3 different things, and you'll be like rebuying 2 of the games, but you have to do, and you'll get like sometimes you get like movie versions of a game rather than the actual game.
It also feels, and
they spend a lot of
Zelda's
effort
doing that too.
They
To us
spend
too, so that's
a
fine.
lot of effort to make it more confusing than it needs to be.
Yeah, I remember when I pre-ordered Wind Waker for the GameCube, that they gave me a disc that had like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and I believe it comes with Legend of Zelda 1 and Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. All that on a GameCube disc. I believe that's what was on the disc, and it's like, wow, cool. I have. Wait, and I was like, kind of looked down, like, wait, where's Link to the Past? So this would be a collective thing. It's like, no, you get these 2 N64 games, and you get the 2 original NES games, and
But
you're not getting Link's Awakening. You're not getting these other things.
You know what, though? Because you're putting it on a Nintendo platform, you're not going to have to replay those games to get all the achievements associated with that disc copy that you're going to have to if you play it on the PlayStation.
So yeah, that's Final
Make fun
Fantasy
of everybody
VII.
today.
It was actually interesting to see. So I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VII, like Graham was. I have not played the remake. But it was interesting that there were quite a few people in the comments who were very positive about the change. You know, Graham was talking about how like the last hour of the remake goes completely off the rails, which, from what I understand, off the rails in this case means it diverges.
Okay.
It's basically stops being a remake. Like it's not actually following Final Fantasy VII anymore. It's like it changes the story, which is an interesting idea. And some people say like, oh, that's cool that they're doing that. And but obviously if you're kind of going into it expecting a remake, it's confusing.
Is a little more like, I mean, what they're doing
apologize
with
for the
this
slack noise.
What they're doing with this, just you made like 100 people who are watching this all at work currently sit up and go, oh shit, you know, like yeah, the one that's coming out, the Ever Crisis is going to be essentially a remaster. It's like, let's make everything HD and try not to screw with anything else, but we'll cram in some more stuff.
Yeah,
whereas the remake it's a remake, but it's like Advent Children in that we want to
they wanted
do
to,
other things.
They
with
wanted
it.
to change stuff. Like I watched a bit of Jacob play through it, and from what I can tell, because I've never played the original myself, from what I can tell, there's lots of really neat stuff that they've added in that maybe, like, especially if you are a fan, makes a lot of sense for you. And I personally think that last hour does look like bullshit, not from an off-the-rails standpoint, but from the standpoint of if you're not going to do well, you're going to be in that last hour for a long time.
Oh, just from like a
gameplay
gameplay point of view.
It pushes you back a lot. I think it could do with a little bit better checkpointing, personally, at that endpoint.
All right, and then this week, I was actually looking through the stories that I marked like to as potential ones, and there actually aren't that many stories that I marked that we didn't use because we did, of course, the quick points.
Quick point?
Which is definitely not a recurring segment, but we just have done it twice.
Yes.
Which is weird that it's happened twice.
Which technically makes it a recurring segment.
It's not necessarily going to happen every week, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good way of people seem to like it, and it's a good way of talking about some of these things that don't necessarily need to have a whole story. The Xbox mini fridge. We talked about the Xbox full size fridge a couple months ago, and here's Xbox mini fridge, which, I mean, you know, branded mini fridges have been a thing for a while. Although, if you look at, from what I gather from I think people in the comments and things is talking about that there's a specific fridge that this is like a reskin of, which is why
Yeah.
it's so
It's so small.
It's so small. Like the top
There's
part
like
is
a
just
huge area that
Yeah.
they could be using for a shelf or something.
And when I had this had occurred to me when I was looking at it initially when I saw the pictures on it, because on the Instagram, the one Lamar, I think his name is, he opens it up to show it off, and the big area that says Zoa across the top, and it's not it's unusable space, which I thought that's really weird. Why not just turn that into a shelf that you can stuff chips or like your fleshlight into? I don't know, but the lower bit, I was like, why wouldn't you make the whole thing a fridge? And I thought about it. I'm like, they had to do this on the cheap because it's promotional, and designing a whole fridge that you're maybe only going to do, I'm going to assume maybe 1,000 of these they send out maximum to influencers.
I mean, I would think like 100 maybe.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
But
1,000 seems like a lot.
if you're going to do tooling of that, you might only do like maybe 500 of them and send out that many, or maybe you do 1,000. But if you can do 100, that's great. And it's like, what's the cheapest way to do that? Well, design a case that you can just shove a Peltier cooler novelty fridge bit into, and be like, and then put the other piece of the door on the thing so it shuts. And I'm like, that's how you do that when you're doing that. And I was really like, I was just like, that's very clever as a means of your Xbox Series X has to look a certain way. So you're like, what do we do with this extra space?
Right.
Nothing.
I just wish it had like some use.
See, what I thought they should have done.
Oh no.
Yes, what I thought they should have done is if they're going to design one from scratch, is you rotate the Peltier cooler apparatus, because all this is a space heater at this point, because it's going to keep your drink slightly cooler than room temperature. It means room temperature is going to get hotter because it has to. A way Peltier cooler works is it has to dump heat off the back like the normal fridge was, but it's going to be more heat. Anyway, you move that cooler into the area where it says Zoa, and you put a thermally insulated area up there, and now you have an oven, so you can make like little cheese and ham toasties like right next to you while you're gaming, and so you can cook a Pop-Tart in there.
Okay, stop.
Didn't we
making the KFC console?
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't we talk about the KFC console already?
Right? Put your chicken fingers in there and keep them warm. You know, like that's what gamers want. They like that, and they like free 2-day chicken fingers.
I think it's absurd that they constantly think that gamers want energy drinks and cold drinks, because all I really need is something that keeps my tea hot.
That would be the inside of this fridge.
Or you put you put the tea on top, and
Yeah.
it's like warmed by the thing and then cooled. Yeah, anyway.
I like the it's an easy bake oven. There you go.
All right.
That's what they came out from Battleship Brigade.
Next story we talked about was Fortnite. Adding new characters,
Fortnite.
of course. Fortnite always up to weird shenanigans. And in this case, I believe, so we've got, Lara Croft, 4 different skins for Lara Croft, including one that's like all retro styled, and like one that's like all retro styled, one that's like her sort of old design, one that's like her from the new games, and one where she's just a gold statue.
Yep.
Yeah, what is with that?
It looks like it's like Lara Croft as a bowling trophy.
Like
it was in that one movie, I guess. What? Huh?
Can we just have the instead of trying to make characters into a weird molten gold thing, can we just have them put in one of those trophies, like the Grammys or something, or the gold lady with the wings or whatever already?
Yeah. Just the
Tomb
Spirit of Ecstasy.
It was an infamous death in one of the games where she gets turned into gold.
Ah.
That's
then Raven's in the Raven's
okay.
now a skin in the game too. That's cool.
Yeah, Raven's in the game. From the Teen Titans and stuff.
Is she cooler than Starfire?
Oh, they're both pretty cool in their own way. And
Yeah.
it depends on which Teen Titans you're talking about.
Which one of them was dating Robin?
That
Depends
never really
on which
happened in the
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
The
pretty
cartoon
sure
that
he's.
I watched it never really happened, even though she had a thing for Robin.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both of them have. Yeah. And then we also have Neymar Jr., who is a football player.
From
Actually,
FIFA 2020.
actually a football like he's from real life,
Yes.
which I think this is like they've put sports team costumes in the game before.
Yeah.
I think this might be the first just actual pro sports person who's been in the game.
Yeah. Like a real person who's not just a character like Ninja.
Yes.
Yes.
Which it's just it's at this point with Fortnite for me, it's not always just like it's not even at this point, it's not just like, oh, it's so weird that they have, Raven in Fortnite.
Yeah, that's
because
actually not that weird.
because Fortnite, they've been pulling licenses from everything. What I find so sort of confusing about Fortnite is that they don't do like, hey, we're going to do a Teen Titans update. Here's Raven and Starfire and Cyborg
Beast Boy
and
would be
Beast
so
Boy
good.
and Robin, and like we're going to put all the Teen Titans in. No. It's this like weird grab bag thing. They did like one person from one franchise and then some other person from some other franchise, and they just like, I have no idea what criteria they're using, whether there's some sort of like polling system they're using or what.
No, they probably just like sit down with some people and they're like, all right, which characters are you willing to trade us for? And they're like, well, we'd really like this one. Nah, we can't give you that one. We could give you Raven though. We'd be okay with that.
We got $10. What characters could we get for $10?
Spider-Ham. Did you say Spider-Man? No, that's not what I said.
Yeah,
you're telling me would be pretty funny, honestly.
Spider-Ham would be popular as a Fortnite character,
especially if he curses. He did a lot of. John Mulaney did a lot of cursing when they did a lot of outtakes for that for his character in the. But anyway,
the other piece of Fortnite news that we didn't talk about there, which I thought again Fortnite is always fascinating to me. But the part of the new season, one of the update that they made, they're always reconfiguring the island that you're fighting on, and the newest reconfiguration is like the middle part of the island is now the past, like the dinosaur past. Like when you move into the middle part, you go into the past.
Don't you hate when the residential area is just restricted to dinosaur past?
Weird, yeah.
And so and when you're in like the dinosaur, or like when you're in the past, there's like, you pick up like bow and arrow and axes and different things. And then I don't know whether they like your like regular guns turn into like primitive stuff,
sticks and stones, like,
and then they turn back when you leave the thing. And
that'd be really funny.
It's weird.
That'd be good. I do like at the end of the story that Graham wrote that a ninja could barely floss, and I know he means like, it's likely what he means is the dance, but I like to think that Graham literally just called him on his oral hygiene.
It's like, geez, man, why don't you floss?
Barely floss.
Because it's so unnecessarily mean.
Speaking of crossovers.
Yeah. What is this? What's not happening is that you can't get the Hot Wheels Mario Kart Rainbow Road thing.
Yeah.
You will at some point, but not now. Even though it was made available.
I struggled to crush that all into one sentence, but literally that's what's happened, is that a Hot Wheels Mario Kart crossover was misannounced on Amazon. It was not supposed to come out. Everyone now knows that Hot Wheels is going to make Rainbow Road. They have already now said, yes, we're going to release Rainbow Road sometime later this year. Not in May when Amazon had it to go up, which is why they had the pre-orders up, and they are asking, please, just everyone cancel your pre-orders.
I'm surprised they're asking people and they're not just...
Because it's not going to be, I think they're either going to just cancel the SKU or they're going to do something else with it, but it's like, we can't fulfill that SKU. So if you have a pre-order, it's never going to come.
Most companies, when stuff like this happens, they force a cancel on a thing.
Yeah.
They don't ask people to cancel a thing.
I thought that was weird too. But I do know that apparently, at least one of the references in one of the stories we read is that people have it priced as a third-party purchase up to about $400.
Oh,
because
right.
People are with. I put a pre-order in a thing, and now I'm going to resell that pre-order for $400. But and
so not only are they not available, when they do become available, they'll also not be available because people will start
Yeah.
scalping them.
Sounds
the
like
thing
how our
is-
industry works now.
It looks super sweet and completely misguided. Because I'm like, the Rainbow Road is traditionally the longest road in every Mario Kart game. And very rarely have they ever had rails on
Yeah,
sections
it's the
of Rainbow
most
Road.
annoying road. It's got a lot of flashing lights. You're gonna fall off that edge like 6 times at least in the first 2 minutes. Like,
Yeah. This is all rails to the bottom. And to get to the bottom, it's 2 curves and a bit of a wibbly bit, which look kind of neat, actually. And then you're done in 6 seconds. And I'm
if
like,
they really want this to be authentic, they definitely need to take those rails off and have it be very broken.
So yeah, to be fair,
yes,
Hot Wheels doesn't really work without rails. It just
exactly.
fall like that would be just
Oh, yeah.
like you can't actually steer the car in Hot Wheels, right?
Exactly.
And also you could get like 3 sets and put them together if you want a longer Rainbow
It's true.
Road.
Like, what got me is I was like, if you're going to make Rainbow Road, like, it's one thing to be like, we'll sell like a Rainbow Road expansion track to like other Hot Wheels stuff, or if there's already Mario Kart stuff out there, it's like, now you can add these in, you can have Rainbow Road sections of your whatever. I don't know anything about that because I actually don't care. But what I remember from Hot Wheels is that they did have those car accelerator things that you could like attach to the tracks at certain points where the cars would like come up to like a
It's
spinning
like
wheel.
the spinning, yeah.
Yeah, and it would jet them on through, and you'd send them back out on the thing again. And I'm like, that's what a Rainbow Road a Rainbow Road set should probably these days cost about $200, which means that only adults are buying them, and it should have accelerators, and it should also go up a wall. Like that's what I think a Rainbow Road set should be. And they probably looked at that and were like, no, we'll just charge $200 for this little thing. Why not? I'm like,
It's yeah. I mean, also I was very disappointed in that the picture of the set is like rainbow on the straightaways, and then the
Right.
curves are just gray, and then it's like
Yep.
rainbow straightaway,
Yeah.
gray curve, and it's like that's it seems
Doesn't-
unnecessarily
So-
like
so
you're
the thing you don't really know about rainbows, Paul, and it's a secret. That's why, and Nintendo has revealed it now, and Hot Wheels has definitely revealed it. Is that there is a gray section to the rainbow that the rainbow doesn't want you to know about, and it does not like people seeing its grays. That's why it gets its hair colored.
that's the part at the end of the rainbow. It's down
Yeah.
below the horizon that you can't see normally.
You know, the rainbow is going to sue over that.
The
Also,
also
they weren't supposed to give that out.
I will say that while there are edges on the Hot Wheels track, I believe if you have ever played Hot Wheels, falling off the track is still very much a possibility.
yeah. True enough.
the little edges on the side do not stop the car from falling off necessarily. So I think the falling off the track part will still be there for you to do. I was actually just
Speaking of couch co-op,
well, I was actually just watching one of these like speed run progression things of the people playing Rainbow Road in the various Mario Kart things, which is it's apparently Rainbow Road is like one of the most speed ran. I don't know what the past tense of speed run is.
I think that'll do.
I don't think there is a past tense. I think you're always doing it.
It is one of the most popular to speedrun tracks in Mario games. All the Mario Kart games, because it is the longest, and also because there are often large skips that you can do because there's no edges on it. Anyway, let's Dark Alliance, which
Oh, a lot of comments about how people do miss couch co-op.
so.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of interesting in that, the reason why they did there's no couch. So the reason why there's no couch co-op, or what they've said is that, it was sort of one of those time. It's like we could either really polish stuff up or we could work on couch co-op. We decided to really polish stuff up. we're going to talk about, they said they're not ruling out the possibility that they could add couch co-op in going down the road. It's what I find interesting about this is I know for like crossing the streams, we're always looking at multiplayer games, and there's been quite a few games that have come out in the last year that are couch co-op only that have gotten like a ton of pushback. People being like, "How stupid are you to make a couch co-op only game now? I don't have any people to play it with." So like, I think if you had to do one or the other, doing the online co-op is probably
right now
always probably the safer thing to do. To be honest, the online co-op is a more difficult engineering problem. And so, like, if you've got the online co-op going, the couch co-op part is comparatively. I mean, you've got to figure out the split screening, which is not easy.
So complicated.
But the the network stuff is way more complicated in terms of all the synchronization things. So, frankly,
the story was mostly just Graham using this as a pivot point to talk about what it was like to be a child, like
being scared of Fatal Frame.
You're talking about the two of you, like relating a story about his youth and who did he have to play couch co-op games with? His best friend. He didn't have a wife back then to be locked in a fucking room with for a year and several months.
Yeah, Beach and I have been locked in a room for a year, and he still won't play couch co-op games with me.
Couch co-op stuff.
Yeah,
holy
that's
shit.
not for lack of trying.
We have 2 Switches. Like, it's like that was the only way this is going to make any sense.
Because I got the upgrade.
You got the good one. It's true.
Let's be fair.
But it's like this was only meant to be a pivot point to talk about how, like, you know what? I don't want to talk to people because the pandemic has ruined any sort of way that I interface with the outside world. So, frankly, that it wasn't about saying like fuck couch co-op, it's a useless thing. No, it's like couch co-op is cool. There's a lot of good couch co-op games. They're a lot of fun to play.
Online play is always a thing that can go away.
Yeah.
So I want games to have couch co-op.
Absolutely.
As an option. I do think it's probably it's funny for people to be like, how dare they not do online multiplayer in this time of our pandemic. But at the same time, most games are made not the minute that things are happening.
Right.
So they've already probably had couch co-op planned and weren't planning to do online, and now a bunch of people are probably running around trying to be like, do we do online? Do we have time for that?
And I think it is the opposite mode where you make couch, like I've seen that a lot, for games that are like Moving Out was one that we played, which is couch co-op only. Of course, we played it with the Steam Remote Play, which that works for a lot of games. But games that are but like the discussion boards for that game were like filled with people being like, could you make it online? Can you make it playing online? It's dumb that it's not online. How could you not make this online? And it's like taking a game that is designed to be couch co-op, making it online, I think is a much more difficult. Like that's a whole. It's not only like a gameplay and a interface challenge, but then also the actual like network code stuff, which is like a whole other kettle of fish, possibly like a whole other sort of discipline that you need on your development team that you may not already have. Yeah. Like if your game is not primarily online, you might not have like a super network code guy on your team. Yeah. And that's what in order to actually do it well, that's what you need. And playing an online game that doesn't work very well is much worse than if it just didn't have online capabilities.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, speaking of having a hard time programming an online game, God, I'm really having a fun time with these segments.
Yeah, this is really like pushing us to go through things faster than normal.
Well, because we have other things, there's other stories to go through as well, so... but yeah, the Toast's hack for Grand Theft Auto Online that we talked about last week. Yeah, Rockstar implemented that that fix.
It turned so, which I love
Yep.
that it turned out. So it's like people are like, will they do this? Who knows? But
Beach
Yeah.
found out bounty programs existed.
I mean, well, the thing is, like, I went look because I was like, for the story, I wanted to try to figure out where is Rockstar's bounty program. If I go to rockstar.com, how long does it take me to find it? And the fact is you never find it. It's not on rockstar.com. Like, you can't, like, if you go looking for, the closest thing you can find is, I had to go to their support page eventually. And then even when I searched for bug bounty, the only thing I got was a blurb of an article that when I clicked on it, that was no longer there, wasn't functional or whatever. I can't really remember. It didn't seem to work properly. But the blurb said that you, for security issues, go to our HackerOne bug bounty program, which is why I literally included that, because HackerOne's a separate site. And for nice to haves, for feature problems, for like these other kind of things, open a normal support ticket. And just let us know that way.
And that's what's kind of interesting about this is that technically, like, this is actually the first bug bounty that Rockstar has delivered, has paid out on for a feature as opposed to like a bug. You could argue that the slowness of this was actually like a bug, but it's more.
But it's like that was not a security issue. Everything was functional and it wasn't broken. It just was terrible.
And apparently, what I like about this is that this fix came out a week or two ago, probably a week and a half or 2 weeks now. So which I like because clearly,
actually, I think it was the 15th or the 16th. It was like even less than a week. Yeah.
Clearly, Toast was correct in his thought that this would take a low tier Rockstar developer a couple hours to do. He talked about that. There's like not only is this the fix, but it's like this was a pain in the ass for me to do. If you're Rockstar and you have access to all the stuff, it's just like change two things and then it's fine.
Yeah. Or at least or understand, like, because then you whoever was working on this piece dives into the code and has a look to be like, okay, yeah, we were enumerating all this stuff. I guess for these reasons, because maybe the code is commented, you hope, and it's like we were probably enumerating all this for X reason, but that doesn't seem to pan out.
Really...
And then just like swapping out the parsing library for something a little more modern,
and then saying like, what if we didn't parse everything? What if we didn't have to parse everything? What if we did implement it as a hash table? Like, there could be all sorts of different things that they did that had a functionally equivalent fix. And Toast did testing and came back saying that it works. I have the same results, and it's like that doesn't mean it's the same fix, but it could be something that works very similarly.
And presumably, of course, when you're doing any kinds of fixes like that, that's the kind of thing that you always got to be careful with, especially with the kinds of the level of size of software of something like, and especially an online game like Rockstar Online. Like that's the kind of thing where you're like, oh, we'll do this change. It'll take a sec. Boom, we do it, and then that like opens up a whole can of other. It turns out that some stupid implementation of the parsing that this library did was used somewhere else in the code and is actually important and caused all sorts of problems. So the testing aspect is probably the majority of the time that something like this would take to fix.
And it's cool that Rockstar said, we'll give you $10,000 for this. Like, this wasn't a security issue, but it got a lot of play in the press, and this is $10,000 for goodwill.
He didn't just find an issue; he fixed it.
Right.
Yeah.
He found
he found the way to fix it as well, which I kind of feel like is worth something.
Yeah. But it was a very like it was done entirely like it wasn't even done. He didn't even say like Rockstar pay me. It was done in. It was done entirely, just altruistically. Rockstar has had no impetus to do it other than the sort of goodwill. So, good on that. And maybe that's something that, that obviously it's nice to see more companies doing that.
That I want to argue from the benevolent self-interest point of view, though, on the behalf of Rockstar.
Well,
So Toast,
I mean,
Well,
like,
no,
yeah, I mean, obviously,
clearly they did
yeah.
it for good publicity, and because if they just implemented it, they'd look awful.
no, not just that. The benevolent self-interest side of this is Toast comes up with a thing and then says, "Here, I've made a fix." There's a lot of GTAO players, so then they make a DLL that says, "Here's my DLL, but here's all my source code, so you can see how to compile this yourself." And then, so a lot of people then start downloading the thing themselves and start making the DLLs themselves. And some bad actor out there puts a hack, puts spyware, puts some other shit into a DLL that can be downloaded from somewhere. Somebody downloads that stuff to have as part of their GTAO thing, and next thing you know, their accounts being stolen, or things are being whatever, or their computer's been like leet owned.
Okay.
Like, I meant to say pwned there. That would have been even stupider. But anyway. That happens, and now Rockstar has a massive security issue on their hand because everyone went ahead and there's all sorts of people that have like the wrong thing installed. So for Rockstar to be like, "Wait, we can fix this problem. It's a problem that's been documented. It's a problem that somebody has seen how this is done. We can fix it in less than a day," and it's got massive publicity behind it, and it'll stop other people from creating backdoors or whatever into other people's computers. Hell yeah, we fix this.
Well, yeah, I don't know what you're arguing.
No, I'm saying I think that's also the benevolent self-interest side of it. It's not just earning goodwill in the marketplace. Or from players. It's protecting their interests to say that we need to implement this because someone else, a bad actor, will implement it in a way to screw over our players.
I don't think they had to think that far. I don't think they had to think as far as that guy might give out code that other people will download and then someone else might do bad things with it, so much as a lot of people are talking about our loading times sucking and we have a way to fix it. We can fix it real fast.
Yeah, but if I was a manager being like, "Well, I don't know if it's worth it or not," that's the other point that you make up the chain to be like, this is potentially going to be an issue.
I don't think you even go up the chain for it. I think you ask, especially since it's a small fix.
I've worked in companies.
I know you've worked in companies.
I've been to. I've sat on change advisory boards.
Yes, and
trying to push through something that would help everybody, and they're like, "Have we tested everything?" It's like,
"Sir,
yes.
I understand your point. I don't agree with you. Can we move on?"
Yes.
Anyway, I'd like to see. I mean, it would be neat to see stuff like this for other. There's the archetypical example is like high DPI. Texture packs and stuff for like Oblivion, Oblivion or Skyrim, and the those kinds of RPGs. There's been some amazing mods that people have made that improve the game massively, and the idea that could be sort of acknowledged, not only acknowledged but acknowledged and incorporated into the game, and then appropriately compensated for is kind of a neat idea. But
yeah, agreed.
Yes, like the Macho Man mod. Every dragon is actually just Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Why is that not part of the base game? Anyway, and then
licensing.
Hatsune Miku Picross. Yay!
Yeah.
Not a new game.
No, it's a mobile game that they've ported to the Switch.
And put in new things as a result.
That's what I understand. I didn't read what was new because I haven't played the mobile.
I think there's more. I think there's
puzzles?
more puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing I've seen about this, wow, puzzle snobs exist. It's not made by Jupiter, which I agree. Jupiter does make some of the best Picross games. But if you play the Jupiter Super Mario Picross game, which you can get on the Nintendo Online service,
Nintendo Switch Online,
you will notice that it is, while still a good game, in its age doesn't have things like wrapping around or marking things off automatically for you. This game has that, at least.
Yeah,
it's a fine Picross game.
Like I've played a fair amount of Picross stuff. I have very strong opinions about like the interface, like the actual like puzzles, whatever. Like lots, the puzzles are fine. Like anybody can do those, but the actual like interface of the Picross thing can be, there's definitely a large range of like goodness of those.
Yeah, and that's what you need to judge a Picross game on mostly.
I think I've probably downloaded like a dozen or more Picross games on my on my iPhone.
The
and
phone
then,
ones are
like
the
download,
hardest ones because
download.
like the touch interface really messes with certain things, and some of those puzzle sizes, because of the smaller screen, if they don't have a zoom in feature, it's there's like extra stuff in there that's harder to work with.
Like you played the because we played the Konami Pixel Puzzle Collection, which
that
is
one
free.
is very good.
It's very good.
That is
Yeah.
very good.
It doesn't have every little thing you want to have, but it is very good.
But I'm surprised by how good it is and the fact that it's free.
Yeah,
it's just weird.
And you were telling me, Paul, that then you went ahead and were playing like a ton of it as well, and found that it's it's solid.
I really like the Konami one. The only problem I had with the Konami one is that it was too easy.
Yeah.
Did you not get to the hard levels?
Yeah, but because it only went up to like 15 by 15s.
Yeah,
and there weren't that many of them.
True.
And so I was like, I did all those, and then I was like, okay, I don't really want to go back to like the easier ones.
See, whereas Mario Super Picross on Nintendo Switch Online Super Nintendo, it's in Japanese, but it's fine. You can figure it out. Does the really hard levels, are they 20 by 25?
20 by 25 is as high as it goes,
if
I recall right. It does that unlocking thing where it's like it does 3 things
4
at
levels
a time.
that have like
so you
10
have you've got the Mario
each.
side, but when you're doing that, you've also got the Wario side, and they act differently. I actually find the Mario side harder because it has the 30-minute countdown timer.
And also that if you on the Mario side, if you accidentally put something wrong down,
if you make a mistake,
it immediately
takes
corrects
time
it and takes time off.
I don't like being rushed. Yeah,
the Wario side is more traditional, where it's like the timer's counting up. It doesn't give you any clues and stuff, and then beyond that, there's more.
And and
which I'm not going to tell you all of because it's kind of spoilers.
It's fun to uncover. But on the Wario side too, it also has the Mario side has hints, so you have up to 5 hints per puzzle. But whenever you use a hint, it takes off more and more minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Wario side, there's no hint feature. Instead, what you get is a recording feature. You basically can.
Yeah.
It's like taking a snap. You get a snapshot feature. You can lock your puzzle in at a certain point, and then you can start putting down yellow squares and yellow X's to be like, I think this is correct. And you can start filling it in. Get to a point where you're like, no, something's wrong, and then you can go back and say, no, I don't want this, and it takes all the yellow stuff out and takes you back to where you were beforehand.
Yeah, it's actually kind of an interesting feature I've not really seen on other Picross games.
That kind of stuff I always like. I like that kind of stuff, but it always bugs me when that kind of stuff is sort of not. It's sort of almost made as like a game, like this thing where you have like the Mario and Wario thing, where it's like, this is a better way of playing. Why can't I just do this all the time?
Yeah.
Like this isn't like this is like a part of the user interface that has been taken away from me now. Anyway.
Yeah, but
in my estimation, if you want just like straight up, not branded or have any fancy stuff, but in terms of interface for iOS, there's one called Nanogram's Katana.
I've not played that one.
That is has literally like unlimited, because it's got user submitted puzzles. So there's
cool.
like hundreds of thousands of puzzles, and you can select them there's ones that are like 100 by 100 if you really want to go there.
And do you just buy a pack? Like
the game is like has like an ad bar thing that you pay for and can get rid of.
Okay.
And then, but most of like the user submitted puzzles you don't have to pay for. Like they're just they're just user puzzles. And you can and it's got all the different, like you can put down X's or different little symbols, so you can kind of try to work out question marks or different things. So I highly recommend it if you just want just like a sort of workman-like thing without any actual like Mario or Hatsune Miku or sort of fancy branding stuff. But it's quite good for that.
Yeah.
The-
If you have the Nintendo Online thing, I do recommend the Mario one. I do think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The Hatsune Miku one I downloaded last night and tried a little bit of, and it looks like you can basically go and do the hard puzzles right away if you want. Like you don't have to you don't
prove
have
that you
to
can do a
unlock
5x5?
the 5x5s and then get to like
Right,
the
right.
10x10s to get to the 15x15s. It also has I've seen this in like they did this in the Twilight Princess Picross game and stuff, which I really like. They have the large puzzles where you do like a tiny square of a bigger thing and then you
Right,
fill
right.
in, because I find those pretty enjoyable.
Pokemon Picross did that
Yeah,
too.
Pokemon Picross did a couple of those too.
Yeah. The if you like if you want to try the Hatsune Miku one out, though, also it's on iOS for $1.39 in Canada.
Yeah, it is cheaper on iOS.
But it isn't the same as the Switch game because it doesn't have everything, but it does have most of it. So.
The Switch game lets you pick a Vocaloid to like hang out with you, and when you make a right move, it like gets happy, which is kind of cute.
That's cool.
It's got some music you can change and whatnot, and then it's got like a star system where it's like, oh, you didn't use any hints, you get a star for that. But it does have an autocomplete thing where like when you fill in the row that you're working on that's correct, it fills in all the rest of the X's, and I like it when Picross games do that, because then I don't have to go through myself.
Yeah.
So I think it's a decent Picross game.
People put Picross, Gridler sometimes, or Nonogram are basically the same thing. If you're looking for stuff, actually, the Katana Nonogram Katana has this thing where you can like filter for different things, and one of the filter things you can do is like what's called, I think it's called like a true nonogram, which is like equal in the thing.
Yeah,
it can
10
do
by
like
10, 15 by 15. Yeah,
yeah. But it people have there also are puzzles that are like 7 by 12 or like weird shapes.
Neat.
And there's also ones that, and you can also filter for ones that are doable without guessing versus ones that you have to like use second order, like because there's things where you have to use like second you have to like, okay, if this is here and this is here and this is here and this is here, and that means this one's, which I don't usually like that. I have a certain level. I have a certain level where I want to go in terms of like my brain.
Yeah, sometimes when it's late at night, you don't really want to be trying to do third, fourth steps beyond. Like those can be fun sometimes, but like a late night, I just want to jam a little bit of Picross. I want something a little simpler.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the longest we talked about anything
There's
today.
so much you can talk about with Picross games. I've done it before, and I can do it again.
All right. Other stories that we didn't talk about.
Too.
There's just a couple here. So I thought, so this is so the Epic Games Store is going to be in their next update. They're going to be adding a bunch of features that stuff like new player profiles, group chats, stuff to find friends and things. Sort of getting it into sort of bringing
like
some
voice chat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And which is, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's one of the features that people, that it gets criticized versus Steam because it doesn't. To be honest, one of the things I kind of like about the Epic thing is that it's just a place to launch video games. It isn't trying to be like a social hub.
Yeah.
But that's just me. With Steam, there's always there's the 5 tabs of Steam that I have never looked in, that are like all the other stuff, like the weird Steam badges and
the mysterious 5 tabs of Steam.
You're not fully utilizing your Steam profile to
and it's like I use
capacity.
I use the home page and I use the store page and I use the library page.
But if you're not collecting cards and making badges and then making higher level badges, what kind of What kind of gamer could you possibly be? The kind who just plays video games?
The kind that
we got metagaming to do down here, boys.
kind that treats Steam like it's the iTunes store. Like that's how I treat iTunes as well. It's like I plug in my phone, I drag music onto my phone, then I close iTunes. That's all I ever used it for. I did not care about any of the other shit that was on there. I'll do all the other stuff on my phone.
Other stuff. Speaking of, we were talking about the Pokemon Picross. I guess I don't know. There's probably some way to to go into Pokemon, but there's Pokemon's official Japanese YouTube channel has started. I think they've actually posted a couple now of DJ Pikachu doing remixes of classic Pokemon themes.
It's like animated, right? Like
It's basically just like it's like the remixes of Pokemon themes, but the video that they put along with it is DJ Pikachu. DJ Pikachu's Lightning Remix.
There was a thing that got posted about Pokemon yesterday that I doubt got thrown into the document because you would have been past the time of CheckPoint news.
Yes.
But Pokemon released like a bunch of kitchenware with Pikachu on it, including this butter dish, which is just Pikachu as like a thing over top of the butter.
Oh, he's just kind of
like
he's
like
just
laying
like,
on top. He's laying
he's-
down, but there's butter under him.
He's protecting your butter.
Yeah, there's a Pikachu butter dish that looks kind of funny, in my opinion.
I like that.
Everything else is like, oh, it's a cookie jar with some Pikachus on it, and like whatever's, and those are cute. But this is like Pikachu is just covering
That
his
like
butter.
that like transition from like a butter dish with a picture of Pikachu on it to Pikachu is your butter dish.
Mm-hmm. It'd be nice if he was like laying back, like had his arms up all cute and shit, and he was like holding onto the thing.
No, he's more like this.
Yeah, no, look, you pull up Pikachu butter dish, Paul. You can show everybody what this thing looks like. You'll find it on Google real fast. I like though that it's all ceramic stuff.
It's really cute. It just also looks like he's sledding down a hill or something.
He's doing a luge. Yeah.
But
if he was a Butterbill, that'd be funny too. But
Let me see.
Well, if you're gonna do a Butterbell, you'd probably use a Weeping Bell.
Yeah,
Probably work a little bit better. But yeah, I always like it when Pokemon does kind of like everyday non-toy items because they're always really interesting.
See, my problem with this
usually.
is that my first thought is that like if I'm storing my butter under Pikachu, it's gonna be melted.
Yeah.
It's keeping it warm for you.
Not Canadian butter. Canadian butter apparently stays hard at room temperature now.
Wait,
We
what?
tried to soften butter by leaving it out in the room.
So
there.
So for anybody who gives a shit, and apparently Amy Carrero does, because when she was in Canada several months ago, she was in Victoria actually. She was writing about how Canadian butter is awful because it's like she's buying butter and it just doesn't seem to be the same as American butter. And I was like, that's weird because butter is butter. You make butter the same way. And we have found out apparently that Canadian dairy farmers have been pumping a palm oil derivative, feeding their cows with it, and it's been changing the formation of milk solids to the way that butter apparently does not soften as fast or even as completely as it does in other countries, because we've just been apparently just putting palmuric acid, I think is what they call it.
Oh, if you look at the underside, it looks weirder.
Oh, he's all hollowed out. Oh, it's good. I'm glad he's all hollowed out to hold the butter. But this is apparently a thing that has happened, and you have to buy import butter that did not come from Canada if you want it to be different. And it'll also be way more expensive because I think we're fairly protectionist here about our dairy industry.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, been a hell of a thing to discover. I was like, wow, that explains why my cookies are all weird.
They tasted fine.
They do taste fine.
We should have some after the show.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. He each made cookies and he didn't give any to Paul. Interesting that.
Yeah.
And yet I live in society.
And then in the continuing Stadia Death Watch, I guess.
Oh, can we have a Stadia death pool?
I haven't been this excited about a service dying.
Of the 13 of the 13 games that are Stadia exclusives, so far 4 have been announced for other platforms in the past little while. And the big one that just got announced was Super Bomberman R Online, which for a lot of people was like the best of the Stadia exclusives. Also, it was one of the people was like, wow, you could never do this on a non-Stadia thing because it uses the special Stadia, server setup in
Negative
order
latency,
in order to have all the things. Turns
How
out
did we ever video game before Stadia happened?
Turns out you can, and Bomberman apparently is really good, and now it will be coming to Switch and other consoles.
The reason we say that is because that was a Nintendo Life headline, and Nintendo Life is going to talk about it's coming to Switch and those other consoles. There are other consoles.
They are primarily Nintendo news.
It's true.
So, yeah, I don't remember I don't know what all are the Switch exclusives, but you're probably going to see them more of them moving over.
I assume that the moment that Stadia goes down, if not before, anyone who's got a game on there is definitely going to try to get it out onto a different platform just so they can continue to make money.
I mean, and also, I mean, I didn't mark this as a story, but also in the realm of Stadia exclusives, kind of, Jade Raymond, who was previously a Stadia exclusive, as in worked for, was head developer of the Stadia games entertainment thing, has started up her own studio with Sony.
Good.
It's not like it is a independent studio, but it is whatever sponsored funded by Sony.
Funded.
I don't know,
They're,
second party. I don't know what you call them these days.
Generally, I think that gets thrown under second party when it's like you can't tell if it's third or first.
But
Thirst party.
Thirsty.
So apparently she's like, she hasn't said that she's hiring everybody from Stadia, but she has said like there's a lot of great people from Stadia that I'd love to work with. So
yeah,
I feel like there's a good chance that a lot of the people from Stadia will be landing on their feet there. And also there's a bunch of people who were working at Stadia for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Who never actually got to release a game. So they're probably like really, really excited about getting something out the door.
I imagine it's like, this is like, she had a chance to work with these people for a while and being like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, I'd like to work with some of these people again. Some of them are real assholes, and now I get a chance to actually hire only the people I want.
If you have
you can filter out it's like, now I'm the one in charge.
If you have friends that you make at work, and then all of you suddenly get out of work, and you are placed in a position where you can get your friends to have work again, I'd be doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
But I'm always happy. Every time there's like a layoff thing, that my Twitter timeline is full of people being like, "Hey, guess who's on the market for looking for a job right now?" And I'm like, I'm always happy when I hear this group of other people are like, "Shit, you let people go? We will take those."
Yeah.
I mean, it's neat though, because of course Jade Raymond has worked for quite a few different studios over the years, and at each studio she's made some of their like flagship stuff. So the idea of her being able to work on whatever she wants is very exciting. So hopefully there's going to be some good stuff.
Probably see something interesting in a couple of years.
Yeah, in the amount of time it actually takes to make a video game, as opposed to, I think it was actually 18 months they gave SGE until they were like, nah, we're shit canning this. It was like 12 to 18 months they only had to put a game together, and they're like, we can't make a game in 12 to 18 months. What are you talking about?
Not the level that Stadia is going to want to really showcase off.
Yeah.
You can make games in a time period like that, but it involves a lot of crunch and a smaller scale thing.
If it depends waited a little bit longer, they could have bought Anthem off of BioWare and actually like turn it into something.
Depends on what kind of a game you want to make, but yeah. A 24-year-old prototype for Samurai Showdown has been found under a tree.
Like you do, right? It's like E.T.
Yeah, when you got
Is it a time
Morgan-
capsule or something?
Morgan Freeman got out of prison and he walked to the place and there was a tree and there was a rock under the tree that had no reason to be there, and he lifted it up, and Andy had left for him a Samurai Showdown
He
board.
reads it and he's like, huh, so what now?
No, so basically a pinball machine repair specialist went to repair a pinball table at a
Very rich
place-
person's house.
Yeah, a very rich person's house. And apparently, this woman's husband had owned a arcade repair business way back in the day, and he had bought like 6 pallets of returned SNK material.
Off of, I
Because
think, someone in China.
that had been shipped
Yeah.
back when
Okay.
when the SNK offices had been closed in North America. And so there were just these big
6 pallets worth.
these 6 pallets, and I guess
A tree was on top of them.
I guess the husband is not around anymore, and I guess a tree fell on it, and she was gonna get rid of the stuff, and this guy was like, "Can I have a look at it?" And she's like, "Sure, take whatever you want." And there turned out to be Hyper Neo Geo 64 Samurai Showdown. The Hyper Neo Geo 64 Samurai Showdown 64 prototype, which was a thing for the Neo Geo 64 was apparently like a thing that they were trying to do to like give the Neo Geo a little bit more life
Shot in the arm, yeah.
in arcades, but there's only ever like 7 games made for it. It didn't really take off as a thing.
And so the weird thing about this too is that this game did come out, but this is a prototype of what the final game was, and it's not quite the same game.
Well, prototypes generally aren't.
Yeah, but it's funny to think that it's like they were aiming at something and then they it became something different. And yet, so people have played this game finished, I guess, like it exists in the world, but they're like, but no one has played this, and it's yeah, it's weird because it's like is this woman owed money because she had this thing? No, because it's priceless in a way that makes it worthless, but also makes it completely unique.
Sorry, I'm caught up on the fact that you said it's interesting that they were aiming for something and then went somewhere else. And I'm like, yeah, just like how all the stuff got returned to a company that didn't exist and then ended up under a tree somewhere.
I like to imagine that it was like, this is the original prototype version. It was just guys with swords showdown. It wasn't, this was before.
Then we realized we had a property we could have turned this in. Oh yeah, Samurai Showdown,
Perfect,
right? We own that.
I forgot the name of our games. You wrote a descriptive title.
And I think last story here is something which is almost over now, but you can get in on, is the best off Mario best off model Mario contest. Here, I'll post the tweet, the Twitter.
Yeah, people need to see these photos.
So it's basically the best, like, weird Mario from people who had a very vague idea of what Mario was supposed to look like. They've been doing like a March Madness kind of ladder for disturbing Mario pictures.
But it's also Marios that exist in a way that were officially licensed.
Yeah,
are these all official?
Well, looking at everything that's here, I'm kind of like, there's enough of them that they feel like these were probably officially licensed products at some point. Like the dude in the Mario and the Yoshi thing, I've seen that before. That was like a mascot outfit they designed for whatever period of time that happened in. that they like. I guess they probably licensed someone to like, please make us a mascot outfit to walk around an
This
event in.
is one of the finalists.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have front teeth. Like that's
The bounce. Well, that's you have to get into his mouth.
Yeah.
If he had front teeth, it would stop you from being able to get
Man.
into his mouth.
It's gotta be weird having stairs for a tongue.
Captain Lou Albano is in the top 4. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Oh.
I mean, I would suggest that he is, in fact, the model.
The
He is,
weird,
he is,
like,
he can't be off model because he is the model.
yeah, he. So there's a weird Mario that's on all fours and has what looks to be giant, like elephant
koala?
ear type thing. Yeah, it's a koala bear, right? Like, you're right because I said elephant ears, but I'm koala
It's a
ears.
koala.
It's a koala bear that's been repainted to look like Mario, and it's
Yeah.
like, don't know why. I could definitely see this being a thing that Nintendo of Australia decided, or like they decided they wanted to represent something. But it's a statue, and it's.
I've seen that one a million times on the internet because people
Now-
like to post that one a lot.
What all this reminds me of is like how in Alberta, in Edmonton, they have bulls. They have bull statues everywhere around Edmonton, like
Yeah.
all over the downtown Corbett and all these
Very
other
proud of
places.
those.
That they gave to different artists to paint in different ways. So there's like a couple dozen of these things all
we have
over.
dolphins in Victoria. Yeah.
And you let the artist go ahead
Whales
and,
too,
and paint
right?
them to look like a scene or paint them to look like whatever.
Oh no, they're killer whales. Sorry, they're not dolphins.
okay.
They're killer whales.
Orcas. Yeah. So this just reminds me of that, where somebody was like issued one of these koalas to
That
paint
actually-
and said, "I'll just make it Mario."
That could very well be like this. I like the idea. I kind of wish that they would paint it back to look like a koala, but leave the mustache.
Oh yeah.
Just a koala with a, like
Oh, the mustache.
a big Mario mustache.
Maybe you could keep the hat. The hat and the mustache. Be one of those.
There's a bunch of
possessed
koala
Marios.
sculptures with different paint. Yeah, that is like 100. I guess that was a thing that like took off everywhere. I don't know who started it, but tons and tons of cities seem to have done that. And then different like companies sponsor them, and it's like a fundraiser thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been some
Yeah.
there are some really nice killer whales around Victoria. Some also really weird looking ones, but
Yeah, that articles like that are kind of why I like going on to Nintendo Life every now and then, because they, when you focus in on like one platform like that, sometimes you have to really dig for other news, and sometimes their other news is just really funny.
so
Yeah.
But the important part though is that this is still ongoing. They're up to the final 4. So you can vote on this now,
And you should.
and you should.
You know,
I mean, check
This
it out.
is- Exercise your voting rights. They want to take it away from you everywhere else. You need to use them where you got them.
I mean, I guess the question is like, what criteria are you voting for? The most which Mario is the most off model, or which is the best looking, or what are the criteria that you're going by?
I mean, it does say best instead of most, so I'm kind of like, it's in your own
It's gonna
internal.
be your favorite, right? It's
this
gonna be
is-
the one that you like.
It's really
personally.
between you and God at this point. Is that you have to make a covenant with your patron deity to say which one of these is the best, the one that I can look in the
God.
mirror tomorrow night and feel that I have done right by
If
Mario
I-
ethically.
I
It's
think
proof
I think
that there
when
is
you,
no God.
It's like when you see the video game tiered ones, the one that you want to win is the one that like you're going to be forced to play with forever.
Right.
So I think in this instance, if you were to wake up and become one of these, and that's the one you have to vote for.
Which of these goes in the S tier on the Smash ranking charts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I noticed the putting the Tomb Raider Lara Croft into Fortnite. Opened up revigorated the put Lara Croft in Smash group people, which is like
Yeah.
it's like on one hand, okay, sure, she was she is and was a prominent video game figure. I mean, primarily Sony, but Smash that doesn't necessarily disqualify her. I will say though that I feel like she would be not that like she doesn't seem like she'd bring that much. She'd be like a combination. I was thinking like it would be like a combination of like Solid Snake and Bayonetta and Ice Climbers.
In that they're all humans,
Well,
especially ice climbers are the most humans.
but like you've got the like just having a gun aspect of
Yep.
Solid Snake, which always seemed kind of weird in the world of Smash Brothers. You've got the like fighting, the like hand-to-hand fighting Bayonetta, and then you also have like ice climbing axes and stuff.
Which is really weird, given the fact that Bayonetta's whole thing is she has 4 guns that she's primarily.
She's got boot guns.
Yeah, she's not a
Right.
gunfighter.
No,
Because
no.
they have what they have brawl fighters, gunfighters,
Brawls, swords, guns.
brawl swords, and guns. So you put Lara in the game, you give her a machete and piss everybody off.
Anyway.
People do hate on sword
You
fighters.
give her a
don't
bow, and also her final smash is a bunch of trees come in from outside, and everyone gets slammed and impaled on a tree.
they? I do imagine that Fortnite. I'm just going to ignore you now.
Please do.
Has a similar effect to Smash when they add characters where people who are playing the game who've never really seen those characters before maybe actually goes and looks them up. Like I know we had a comment on the thing that said someone's kid was playing Fortnite and turned them to ask them who Lara Croft was.
Ooh.
Because they don't know, and it's like, well, maybe they'd be interested in finding out. Maybe that's a new game that they'll check out at some point if they have access to
I'll
it.
show you the movie, and then we can play the games that are
No,
based
don't start
in
with the movie.
I'm just realizing maybe that's I was saying that the like weird like pick and choose thing that's in Fortnite. Maybe they just go through and people are like, put that person in Smash. They just go, we'll put them in Fortnite.
They wouldn't put this one in Smash. Oh, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Take your Smash leftovers.
Yeah. We will put literally anyone you want. Anyone you want to have in Smash Brothers, we'll put in Fortnite. No questions
I do
asked.
wish that the marketing for putting a character in Smash really coincided with putting those games on Switch for people to play, because then that would definitely mean they put Joker in Smash and we should have gotten Persona 5.
Yeah, fair.
Like, Ice Climbers is in Smash. Cool. Well, then make Ice Climbers an accessible thing that I can learn about those characters. Fire Emblem, all those Fire Emblem characters, all that Fire Emblem game has to be on Smash. All of that Fire Emblem game. The big one with all of it.
Fire Emblem Heroes? That's
No.
the one with all the Fire Emblems.
I'm making a joke,
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
but not that one.
Just taking things way too far.
All right. I think that's all
Maybe
we
the
got going on.
Waluigi game. Clearly,
Yeah.
I can't learn about Waluigi.
Clearly, yeah, I feel like Nintendo is like the one big franchise holder that is not in Fortnite. Like you can't put like Mario and all those people have never all the or the Nintendo properties have never been in Fortnite. But
I'm still waiting on
Yeah.
Shantae so I can have my hair wig.
So Ian and I made up a thing on Rhythm Cafe where it was like, if you any character that is in Smash can get to another character's game, because clearly there must be a portal that lets them go from their game to their thing.
Yep.
And this is just them trying not to get into Fortnite, because if they get a character that can get into Fortnite but can also get into Smash, then everything opens up and it's bad.
Please,
But also Shantae and Smash, yes.
please let Sora into Fortnite so that Fortnite becomes Kingdom Hearts canon. Because that is how it works.
we're in that like whatever the snow globe thing.
Yeah. Tommy Davidson?
Something like that.
Tommy Westphal, thank you.
Yeah.
Same elsewhere.
Let's talk about what's coming up. Because what's coming up in just a little over an hour is Friday Night Paper Fight, where we're going to be doing some Time Spiral remastered sealed decks. Very spicy. If you have seen the little
GG channel?
the little videos that have been going up on the Magic Twitter account, there's some very funny videos have been going up that Watsy got us to do for them with Beige
Yeah.
as the
Your concierge, your
concierge.
personal valet.
We did also put up that video this morning of the Time Spiral Remaster unboxing
The box
Crack a
opening.
box.
on youtube.com/LRMTG. If you want to check that out. And I think North 100 did a sub preview this morning as well.
So
Lots of that content.
lots of Time Spiral remastered content, and now you will actually get to see us play the games, play the stuff. So that's with paper, cards, real. That will be going on tonight. So that'll be a lot of fun. Check that out. Coming up tomorrow is more Jenny Leclue,
Yeah, we're gonna finish it.
the dramatic conclusion.
I'll be there all day until I finish it because there's nothing else going on Saturday. Also, it's not that long.
That's
of a game.
rare, right?
No, because on Saturdays we do we get lives.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
that's true.
but
yeah.
we don't do a lot of streaming on Saturdays.
All right, because
without
Gamehouse
Adam.
is not a thing on there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on Sunday it is Rhythm Cafe. We're gonna be playing with the taiko drums.
I think we're still on Easter Island,
Oh,
unless we moved on. I can't remember now.
Easter Island, known for its taiko drumming. Probably.
It's very strange, Paul.
No
I can't
idea what they
even-
did back in the day.
Can't even understand what's going on.
And then Sunday evening, we have Is This Your Card? The show from Ben Wheeler, where he is looking at various digital card games, going back, checking out more Legends of Runeterra. And then on Monday is my Play It Forward. Yay!
So you have to finish.
Oh, James and I discussed this.
You're just going to keep playing until you're done?
Well, yeah, but also it's not that long of a game.
Fair, yeah.
I go,
James asked me specifically if I said I could be done by Saturday so that Paul could start on Monday.
Right.
But also, if I'm not done, there's still time Sunday morning. Like, I could go for quite some time if I have to.
People are excited to have you stumble across the stuff they made in Death Stranding, Paul.
I'm gonna be walking around a lot, from what I understand. I don't know much about Death Stranding, to be honest. I've played quite a few other Kojima games. I've played a lot of the Metal Gear Solid games and stuff, so I know, I know the kind of game I'm in for. But
Right.
what
You
I
watched
love,
all the trailers. You know what's going on.
well, that's what I love about Death Stranding is that from a perspective of doing CheckPoint, it's a game where the more they revealed about the game, the less clear what the game was became, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it'll be interesting. I think that's been a game that a few people have tossed around as maybe I want to play, maybe I don't, and I think I want to watch Paul play this one.
I think it's some sort of Mads Mikkelsen dating simulator.
Probably.
Yeah.
Besides, I've also determined that, I figured this also works for Paul too. If we can't finish our Play It Forward games in time, clearly all we have to do is pull James Turner and start playing one more and do whatever we want.
Just slide Piff into the... Yeah, you're right. Oh, Gapfiller got in there too, right? So...
And then another awesome thing going on is on Monday is the premiere of Queer as Hell, which is our next Dice Friends game. Should be super, super neat. There's a teaser trailer thingamadoodle for it up on YouTube if you want to check that out. Michelle Rapp is going to be the DM, who you may remember from Honey Heist. She did an awesome, and she also, I believe she was also on one of the Jackbox panels we did.
Yeah.
And
The one that I was on.
Yeah, she's super fun, and it's going to be a really neat game, and 5 players, so quite a few players. And check out the little teaser on the YouTube channel if you want to get more of the sort of feel of it. But I think it's going to be a really fun campaign. It's only three. It's only going to be 3 sessions long, so it'll be relatively short. But I think it'll be super neat. And then, speaking of James sneaking in there, after that campaign, after Dice Friends will be Escape from Tarkov 1 more, because James likes to escape from Tarkov.
Just wants to stay up all night, Tarkov.
And then get up real early in the morning for Minecraft.
Yeah,
Yep.
right?
Yep. And then it's Minecraft, more Control on Talking Simulator, and Resident Evil 5 on Let's Nope. So all sorts of awesome stuff coming up.
Actually, just because we have had a lot of new stuff happening. Clearly, from the streams alone, you can see we've had a lot of new stuff, and we talked about some of the new Magic stuff. But today, we also put up episode 10 of Agatha Fisty, which I want to point out because that's been a project long in the making of especially, at least I feel like it's been long in the making because I've definitely, now I don't have to ask that question again of when are you going to record another one, Graham? But
Graham and Matt and Adam have been working on
so
various
Matt
parts of that.
did the editing for the recap for episodes 1 to 9 if you don't want to watch episodes 1 to 9 again, but they're not that long if you do. And then Adam's been doing the primary editing from episode 10 onward. And Graham, of course, has been recording, and I've been pestering everybody. So
it's kind of a group
we've
effort.
all had our roles to play.
Well, I mean, a lot of Loading Ready Run stuff tends to end up being a group effort. And understand that this is Agatha Fisty. Like, this isn't you're getting 5 episodes that's going on hiatus. You're going to get all of Agatha Fisty.
This has been very planned out to that it will go up weekly, and if something goes wrong, Heather will go on a rampage. So nobody wants that.
You have been instrumental in helping to drive this project to a conclusion.
You say that, but
I made sure they had a backlog.
I feel like some people would actually want to see that.
Yeah.
Some people want to see me rampage. It's true, and no one's actually ever seen my true form. And one day maybe it'll happen, but it's not today.
That's good.
So yeah, lots of neat stuff. LoadingReadyRun.com/live is the place to go for the stream schedule. YouTube.com/LoadingReadyRun, of course, is YouTube channel. A note about stream schedule stuff. Depending on where you are in the world, you may or may not be currently on daylight savings or about to go on to daylight savings or never care about daylight savings. So the schedule on the site should be accurate, because it goes off the clock on your computer. So whatever the time is where you are, it should be accurate. But you can also look at the Google Calendar, and that should also stuff. And if all else fails, you can in the chat it'll tell you how long, the time thing in the chat will tell you, or next will tell you how long it is to the next thing. So good luck with that. Let's thank all the awesome people who subscribed during this stream.
And patreon.com/loadingreadyrun.
Yes, Patreon.com.
If YouTube memberships are not your thing, or if Twitch.tv is not your thing, there's still always like our PayPal and other things, but patreon.com/loadingreadyrun.
Page's favorite, store.loadingreadyrun.com. Buy stuff.
Yeah, we have a store. We have merchandise.
If you want something for your money that you're already getting. H-Bomb and Friends for 48 months. Awesome.
4 years. Yay. That's so Raven.
Oh, I
Ogie
used
and
to
the
watch
Silent
that
has
show.
2 years.
Butter churn game. Oh, that sounds fun.
And Richard's
But
coming in
also
at
not.
90 months, which is a lot of months. It's not the most months, but it still is an awful lot of months.
Still an awful lot of months. Koala Mario. Sure, why not? Koala Mario's on Twitch.
Glad that made it.
Moon Carbon is a new subscriber. That's a neat name. I like
That's a good
it.
name.
Thanks for joining.
Welcome,
Thank you
Moon
for showing
Carbon.
up. We're glad you subscribed.
And I think
Does it play the Loading Ready Live music in the background while it's scrolling?
it does. Yeah,
Nice.
it didn't.
couldn't
It
quite
didn't.
hear it, but-
It didn't originally, because it's like really quiet in the background. It didn't originally, and it felt like there should be something playing while it was going.
Yeah, kind of like when Buckshot would do his Happy Birthday stuff.
I don't know. what
Nobody
that
in here
means.
knows what I'm talking about. Oh my god!
Buckshot is a type of bullet gun thing?
I guess only the 40-year-old Albertans would know what I'm talking about, so that's fine.
I mean, can I get like a TV show name? Or is this a radio show? How old are you?
So Buckshot was a TV person, kids TV personality that was Alberta local, and he was a cowboy, right? And looked like an old man, not like an old man, but he looked like he was a grown up, whatever. So, and he had a puppet, I think, too. And so you have to think of this as kind of being like the Friendly Giant style of television production, but this was all on Access Network and running only in like Alberta. And so he would have like, it's your birthday, like, you know, today it's your birthday, dun, 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 happy birthday to you. So the Buckshot Show was a thing that ran for a while.
1967.
Yeah, 1967 to 1997.
Oh, I was going to say 1967. That's...
At time of cancellation, longest running children's TV show in Canadian history. Wrong Barge.
Yeah, was the guy who played him. A very friendly, nice guy, and
puppets.
They had a birthday segment, and they would be like, they play like that kind of like, today is your birthday, dun, 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 happy birthday to you, and then, like everybody's names who sent in their names and it was their birthday that day, that he would just have that scroll up the thing. This was not a major part of my childhood, but I do remember like flicking through the channels and landing on like channel 6 and being like, oh yeah, and then like flick to try to find cartoons. But
nah, never saw that.
When I was like 5 years old, like I'd watch a little bit, but not really, because it was like. But I think that was like you had to watch that to get to Sesame Street, so you could get to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, like kinda.
All right, it's like that.
It's like that,
huh?
All right, thanks everybody for watching. We will talk to all y'all later. Bye.
Bye.